Hello, everybody. I'm here today with the lovely Rich. Hi, Rich.
Hey, what's going on, Karen? Hello, everybody.
It's been a little while since we talked last time.
Yes, it has. It's always a pleasure, though.
Yeah, to me, you're Mr. Tartaria as well, because you like talking about all that stuff, don't you?
Yes, I did a lot of work. Did a lot of work with Tartaria.
You have. You're just showing me something. You've got a T-shirt. Show me your
Well,
company.
yeah,
What it means.
I started a company called Charismatic, and the word charismatic means the speaker of truth. And this is the mark of charismatic. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's the NASA rocket going splashing back down into the ocean, but it's actually making a dome as well. See that?
Yeah, and a sun and a moon.
And the sun and the moon, right? Exactly. And it's across the flat plane. Do you see the level?
Oh.
Right. And then on the back, it says, "Think for yourself."
Nice.
On the back of the T-shirt.
So what's the company about then?
Well, my company is about it's about a lot of things. It's about branding the truth. And and I do. If you go to charismatic.com, I have an online store where we sell flat Earth maps, all kinds of stuff, but for a discounted price. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up a way where anybody who's in the true community can come to me and we can put their product or whatever they're selling on charismatic.com. And if you go to charismatic.com right now, make sure that you have the link in the description. You can get a hat or a charismatic T-shirt as well, a charismatic mug, or anything that we have. Yep.
Okay, well, what I'll do is you send me a link and I'll put it in the description of the video so that people can see it.
Absolutely. So
What made you do that then, Rich?
Well, it's going to be big. I just wanted to, because they can't take it away from us now, and you can't take away the truth. When we brand it, it'll last forever. So, charismatic is the speaker of truth. It means the good vibrations. So it's going to be big. It's going to be big. You're going to start seeing a lot of people wear it and represent, and it's coded. So only certain people are going to know what that means. So that's the good thing.
Yeah, I mean, but my kids have got me flat Earth mugs. The people do make the stuff, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you got to you don't have a flat Earth mug until you get one of these.
Yeah, I want one now.
That is a charismatic mug. I'll send it to you. You go to charismatic.com and I'll send you a charismatic mug. And and it's so colorful. You can pick what color. They got like yellow, black, blue, and it's very beautifully made, high quality. It's gonna last forever. So that's the charismatic mug. So this is gonna be really popular as well. So absolutely. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's the business you've been getting ready then.
Remember
you said to me, I've been starting a business. So that's what it is. It's been that. Oh, well done.
Thank you. Yes, a lot of work, night and day, blood, sweat, and tears. But it's coming to fruition right now. So that's gonna be good. It's gonna be awesome. We got a meetup, Flat Earth meetup coming next week, and here in the States on the East Coast. Gonna meet up with a lot of flat earthers. It's gonna be really big.
cool. Well, you just got to get yourself out there now, haven't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's already out there. We're gonna get it more. Bring more awareness to it.
Do you feel the movement's picking up?
I think so. There's a lot of people waking up, and you really can't quantify how many people that are waking up. But I can tell you a lot of people are waking up to about a lot of deceptions that's going on. You know, Karen, I got to be honest with you. When I woke up to Flat Earth 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, but really about 5.5, I knew a lot of people were off their rockers. I knew, and I was one of them. And I know a lot of people were just dumbed down, including myself. But when this whole COVID came up, that's when I really knew that people were completely dumbed down and brainwashed. You know, right now they're making people wear 2 masks, 3 masks right now, and suggesting people get anal swabs. I mean, it's just the heighten of ludicrous. It's just mind blowing what people are doing.
Do you know
right
how
now.
ludicrous it's got? It's got as ludicrous as that. Do you know who Lisa Sterini is?
Say that again?
Do you know who Lisa Sterini is?
No.
She writes on the pavement.
No.
Well, anyway, she's one of us, but she was writing on the pavement, and I didn't really talk about much. I just let a couple of her poems play, which, you know, she's not really going to agree, but it was in poetry. They gave me a warning, YouTube.
Oh, wow.
They called it medical misinformation.
YouTube gave you a warning.
Yeah, YouTube, right? I played a bit of footage from RT News. It was about a march last year that I wanted to go on, and I didn't go on. But I decided to sort of report it myself and show a bit of what was happening. So I took RT News' footage, put it in my video, and then about 6 weeks ago, I got a strike for it for medical misinformation. Yeah, RT News have the video still going. They live streamed it. 260,000 people watched it, and they will have been paid for it.
Wow.
But I get a strike that I never should have had. But you know what? If you're going to, you know, they should strike RT News then as well. But when does it stop? Where does all this stop? It doesn't. They just do what they want to do, YouTube.
That's exactly what's going on. They're just doing what they want. They're ripping and running and doing whatever they want to do. And they will continue to do what they want to do as long as we continue to acquiesce and capitulate to...
I started a BitChute channel now, and
yes.
The only people that are involved, I mean, I know that you can go out and shops can say it to you if you go out and stuff like that. But the only, and my children are very weird towards me because of it all, because they kind of believe in it and I don't believe in it at all. But the only people that are enforcing it in my personal life is YouTube.
Yes, well, you know, a lot of people are leaving, the true community within its hold are leaving YouTube and going to platforms like Library/Odyssey. Library is where a lot of people are going because there's a lot of censorship on BitChute as well. But Library it's there. It's not going nowhere. It's a different technology, and you also get paid for watching other people's content and for uploading your own content. So they pay you in cryptocurrencies. So that's a good thing. It's just a new technology. I have to
say that I joined up the Library, and then at the end it said, press this button and it mirrors your YouTube channel. And I pressed it, but I thought, well, I'm not really coming here then. I wanted to get away from YouTube, and it's mirroring my YouTube channel. So how does that work then?
No, what it's different is once Library, it's once you post it, it's there. It's different from YouTube where it's on there. So they're not, I mean, it's just that. So they're saying you can port all your videos from YouTube and put them onto Library, and you can make money and be compensated and from doing that from library. But library, it's its own different platform, different than YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, don't get it wrong. A lot of people, a lot of truthers, you know, don't like YouTube anymore. And, you know, and I don't like YouTube anymore from because it changed, but YouTube is very still beneficial in a whole lot of reasons. You can learn so much information and a lot of things to do from YouTube. So YouTube is still beneficial, but it's not really beneficial when it comes to
I find it incredible. You know, I find it incredible. You don't get this problem with I mean, I'm on BitChute, right? I don't think they're as strict or anything, and I've put there's a couple of videos that YouTube didn't like. BitChute have accepted them, and they're on. But when we first, like, say 5 years ago, they had the most disgusting videos on there about burning dogs alive, all those all over YouTube. So they were throwing videos like that at you, allowing them on. And then suddenly, after giving you this platform where everybody was sort of doing what they wanted to do, they went to the complete opposite. And it's partly because I think the ads are on there, because those people want things a certain way. And they've managed to change the laws and do all sorts of things. And nobody is monitoring YouTube.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, Karen. It's really a pain in the butt. I've been at library for the last almost year and a half now, and I love it. I love that platform, even though I still upload to YouTube. But right now, with all the strikes and all the censorship, I mean, they're treating us like kids. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, they tell you what they want. I mean, if you're talking about the truth, they're not going to allow it.
I don't understand how they've got so monotonous on it, because they're a platform like all the rest. Right. They should not have this authority that they've got like that. I know that in the end, say if we came on a hangout and we had an argument and we were swearing at each other, they might not like those kind of things.
Right.
But just talking to do that to us. I mean, basically, I lost Sun and Moon main channel. I lost the Unscrambled channel through it, and they were doing good, those channels. They got rid of them. My channel, Sun and Moon, SAMFU, which is the main channel, is on 2 strikes. And one of those I told you is not fair, and the other one I don't think. It's not medical misinformation. I mean, if you can't talk about things, then you shouldn't be on YouTube then, should you? And then I'm on warnings on the other. I've got 2 other channels I'm on warnings on, and I haven't actually done anything. And I'd really like to talk so much more about how I feel, and I can't.
Well,
and I'm trying to stay away from it as much as possible, and then I get these strikes and these warnings.
You know what I suggest, Karen, is get all your followers and get them over to the library. A lot of them are already on library. So if you notice, a lot of truth channels, they all went to library. That is the new place to be. Go there. And really don't worry about YouTube anymore. I mean, just let people know that you're moving over there. Library, they're not going to censor you. You're going to be able to talk freely, and you're going to have a better experience over a library. And library, it's going to be there forever. You don't have to worry about them deleting your content or censoring you.
Well, basically, even that, because what it was is, I think I pressed the button which uploaded my YouTube channel. But what you're saying is, when those videos go on there, so say YouTube deleted me, they'd still be on library.
Yeah, what you do is you would just upload it. Yes, because this is what I do. This is what I've been doing for the last. If I put a video out on YouTube, I then take that video. Then I also put it on library as well. So so once it's on library, it's not going. So you just take it.
I don't think the version I signed up for was the same thing, because it said it was mirroring my YouTube channel. And then once it did that, I thought, oh.
No, it's just telling you that you have that option if you want to port all your videos over to library. Right. You could do that as well. But what I would do for now on, Karen, is if you make a video, after you're done posting it on YouTube, or before you post it on YouTube, just post it simultaneously on library.
Yeah, I do. That's what I do on BitChute. Do it on library as well. Okay.
Yes, BitChute is, you still have problems with it, and they still will censor it, so they still, got control. See, I'm gonna tell you what's going on here, Karen. You have these big tech companies. They're all are working together in sync with one another. They're communicating with each other, right? That's how they're going to keep their control, right? So that's why you see a lot of these things happening, because the shift of wealth, shift of power, a lot of these things are shifting right now. And a lot of these distractions are for people so that regular people don't understand and see what's going on. So they're in a state of confusion while they're trying to figure out everything in the so-called reset. That's why you're seeing everything going on. They're all planned this. That's how they can control the future, if they plan it ahead of time. So that's why you saw things like Event 201. You know, they laid it out and showed you exactly what they were doing. Event 201, they all planned this. This is all planned. They're working together for one common agenda, right? The New World Order, right? And everything that comes with that. They've systematically made things in place. They already have it all planned out. And that's how they can control the future. All they have to do is just work out some tweaks and different bends and folds, and that's it. But while people are waking up, people are waking up all over the world, and they know that. And that's why they want to keep their power no matter what they do. And that's what you're seeing right now, is a massive genocide of what's going on, and a lot of confusion, and it's all done on purpose.
A friend of mine said that my daughter uses it. Is it Snapchat? That one.
Yeah.
A lot of the younger generations are going over to these other platforms, and so, in a sense, Facebook and YouTube are dying.
Yes, because of the heavy censorship.
It's just full of people our age.
Yeah, it's just for the censorship. And yes, and the censorship has been so obvious and so crazy. Come on, you never had fact checkers or none of that stuff until people start telling the truth. So they knew when they connected the internet of all things to people that a lot of these truths were going to come out. So they know people are waking up. That's going to happen. What they're trying to do is slow the rate of speed of people waking up, so they can put all their control mechanisms in.
You know why? Do you know how they've done? One way they've done it is that, just say we went back 10, 15 years, a lot of us suddenly saw on our computers hoax. Everything, these things are hoaxes, and it drew you in, and then you get there and you start looking, and that's how we all learned that 9/11 wasn't right, because other people were making videos and the whole thing, and then we were watching it. You can't find it like that anymore because they've changed the search engines.
That's
and
right.
even if you go to 9/11, it takes you pages before you find the buildings coming down, because they've changed everything.
Absolutely.
So
And
that's how you won't find us, really. So
well,
people
exactly.
like me are on different algorithms. I know what they do. It looks the same as everybody else's, but we don't get the same pull as everyone else.
Well, right. And Google is the biggest search engine in the world. Google owns YouTube. So that's why they acquired YouTube, because people are putting all their...
don't you?
Right.
So they
own it.
You know what Google are, don't you? Google are the ball.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just a Freemasonic Jesuit, you know, they're just all mocking us. It's all nonsense. It's all the ball to keep people on the ball. Stay on the ball, Karen. Stay on the ball. Because once you get off that ball, you're not going to never go back.
Global is to do with money. That's all it's to do with. When it's got global on it, it's money. It's a business.
Hey, you know what I tell people, Karen? That's how they can control you. That's why they want to keep you on the ball. They got you on the ball, then you came from a monkey's ass. They can control you. They can lie to you. They can ridicule you. They can mock you. But once you're off that ball, you know, the control is very limited, because anybody, when they wake up to something like flat earth, you're like, wow, if they're lying about this, then what else are they lying about? And then when you start taking a closer look, they're lying about everything. Absolutely. And they've been doing it for generations. So the internet of all things that's connected us all together, that was given to us by these people. They're trying to control it. You know, that's what they're doing now. That's why they're putting all these
they
systems
did.
in
You know,
place.
I think they did. I don't know this for sure. I can't prove it, but I've been looking at things. I've been looking at castles, and I've been looking at the Isle of Scilly. They're off Devon and Cornwall. They're just some islands, but they look a bit more tropical, off the end of England. England has quite a lot of islands, about four. Well, I think it has to be over a mile. There's about 400 to 600 islands. I think it depends whether you want to use all the rocks. We've got masses of bits of land around us. And when I was looking up things, they start talking about people. I think, well, I don't know any of these people. And then England and all the places in England, they're all called different things. So they've changed the names.
Yes.
They changed the names.
Yep.
So it's even harder to work out what's happened. And do you know what? Tartaria, do you know when? I know when it ended. Do you know when it ended?
It possibly ended. I think a lot of it was going on behind doors still now, because that, you got to remember, that's where Iran and Iraq, that was like the motherland of Tartaria. That was like the heart of Tartaria. And that's why, you know, people really knew their true history, then they wouldn't allow a lot of this stuff going on. Like, you know, you got to remember, like...
Can I say two things? Can I say two things?
Yeah.
I would have said that, right? But first of all, Tartaria ended about 1925, only that time ago.
Yeah.
Because what it was, as I said, the Queen owned everything. And it went from Tartaria to the Commonwealth. And you know there's many countries in there. And even though they went, yes, we're giving India back, the Queen owns India as well as owning Antarctica.
That's right.
She owns millions of acres of America. And she's got the Constitution. So your president isn't a president of America, a country. He's a president to the corporation that the Queen owns.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's a corporation.
When we get to the bit about Tartaria's the Middle East, the Queen must have been it, because in 1925 it ended, and then she got the Commonwealth with nearly every country in there except Russia and China. And I already know we've got this link to China because the Tsar became the King of England. It was her grandson.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
So, we have a connect, but China, I don't know, that's a bit different. And then in the older maps, you know, the Wall of China, that's where China ended. But now it's huge. It's got a great big swathe of Russia, which is why people couldn't, you know, like, that's why there's Russian towns in China, because they were Russian. But somehow, Russia's lost like a quarter of its country. Did you see a big war between China and Russia? No. But say 200 years ago, it was Russia, and now it's China, and now China's huge, and the Great Wall of China is sort of in the middle of China. But that was the end of China. It was like to keep them out.
Oh yeah, it's a weird thing. You got to remember that the Chinese, they were already here in the United States. You know, they're already here, just like there were people of color already here, and they already been here. Like, and you know what else is interesting? Like by the Silk Road, the Great Wall of China was the Great Wall of Tartaria. And the Great Wall of Tartaria is not that old. You can look at some of the maps back in the 1600s, the wall's not even there. Right. And so you mean it's a big ass wall like that, you're not going to see it on the maps. And these ancient cartographers, these map makers, they were very detailed in putting everything in the map. But you can actually show, right, all the history is all completely wrong. So there's a big history of those people in that whole area.
She knows everything. She has then to be like the head of Tartaria. It's her.
Say that again?
Took it over or something. But it's so hard to work it out because there's an empire here. There's an empire. Germany had an empire. We had an empire. There's empires even in America. There's all these empires, and the timings just don't match. It's all really weird.
Well, you got to also remember too is you got to remember, you know, they told us we were raised that Rome was an empire. Well, how can Rome be an empire if they never had a navy? So you can't be an empire if you didn't have a navy. So, you
Yeah,
know, I got to remember, like,
they played with this thing about being on the water right back then
right,
with
right,
America and the laws. It's all to do with maritime law right back then. They
yes,
used it
yes,
because I think what it was is because everybody was sailing around, obviously differently to they're doing now, and they've lied to us, and they were obviously much more advanced. But anyway, it's like a tax,
right,
and that's how it came in. It's turned into a constitution,
yeah.
or it's
So,
turned into our law. And it shouldn't be for us because
yeah,
we're on
something
land.
happened.
That was made for on water. We're not in the water. We're on land. So we never should have got that law anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is what happened. Is the British control. They control something happened after this world cataclysm that happened. That I you know that I believe that
But do you know
happened
what I
sometime in the
found out?
17th century.
Do you know what I found out? I mean, this is crazy. Like it's like there's a Mandela thing going on all the way through it. Like we've got our history to what happened to what all Napoleon was about, and he got he's the he lost the Waterloo War. But supposedly after that, he sailed down to one of the ports down by the bottom of England that faces France, and then he got kind of arrested, and then he turned up at Plymouth, which is a big seaport, and the people they said in this article they turned up in red carnations. So I went to look up what does the colour red mean. So they either admired him or loved him. And how would that happen if he was the enemy? He must have been they've lied. He either wasn't a real person at all, it was a book or a lie, or they played games with him. But they didn't execute him. They sent him to St. Helena and he was in prison. Well, he wasn't in prison, he was just sent there, and that was his prison. But the people in England all turned up with red carnations. So they didn't hate him. So they've obviously lied about who he was. He was obviously a freedom fighter.
Oh yeah, they lied about everything. I mean, you can't even get. Yeah,
I can't believe that every time we went to look up a bit of history, I had someone staying with me, and nothing was right. Like we've got, nothing added up. The history they're saying it just is not. It's just not right.
oh, absolutely. And all the chronologically, I mean, like all the timelines is all intertwined and different stories and the history's all messed up. And the truth is that we really don't know, what happened. I mean, I think that there's people, a small aspect of people that actually do know, and it's a big secret. But
You know what it's like? I mean, I'm not so much into the fact we're like some pod. I don't know. I got into flat Earth, and that's the way I thought it was, but I don't go on about it anymore because everybody's got so many different ideas and there's different maps. But it's almost as if we were a pod that they were putting humans into. And then, say for instance, when we went over to America, they had all these people, all these asylums and hospitals. They were doing the same thing. They quarantined the adults and they took their children, and they became the orphan children in the 1800s. And then we had it in the Second World War. Hitler was putting people, the adults, taking the adults and then taking the children and so forth. He was doing the same thing. So he was part of the game. It's like it was happening in the 1800s. But it's just awful to wake up and realise what a game it is.
yeah, I think flat Earth is very important, though. I don't really talk about it that much. I mean, I talk about it all the time because I'm a flat earther, but I don't debate about it. I don't argue about it. Hey, if you want to live in a parallel universe, if I'm living on a flat, motionless plane and you want to live on a spinning ball of water in outer space, then have at it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, try to convince you anything else because I see what.
Because it means we're living in different worlds.
Yeah, we're living in parallel universes, right? Right. That's exactly what it is. And it's just mind blowing. It's just like I haven't put on a mask since day one. So there's people walking around with masks on because they think that they're protecting themselves. I mean,
I don't either.
And the misinformation is just mind blowing. Yeah, it's mind blowing. So everybody's just like, I go out to the store and I don't wear a mask, and everybody's got one on, and I see people with a mask on. Well, they're wearing a mask voluntarily. Where I live at, there's Amish people, not too far from me. And that community, these Amish people, well, they don't have corona. You know why? Because they don't own televisions. So, because the coronavirus and the COVID only exist in television.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, we know what's going on because we sometimes make odd videos around it or something. But I'm the same. I don't watch the television. Sometimes I'm like, oh, what, that happened now? Oh, what, what? You find things out. But yeah, if you don't, it's only alive if you put that television on.
That's it. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that the media. You want
to know what I worked out, Rich?
What?
Since we talked, when I started the Unscrambled Channel, first of all, I started this channel, and then one day I saw that this woman had been killed. Her husband had killed her. She was pregnant and had 2 children. And then people were moaning about her, and I got upset. So I made a few videos saying, why are they being so horrible, rah, 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 and everything. And then started looking at the footage because it was really weird on this case. You can watch them on Crime Watch Daily. It's that kind of thing. And it made the main news and everything. I was looking at the footage and I thought, well, that's not right. And then, there was mistakes in the discovery documents and all this kind of stuff. And at the end of it, I worked out it wasn't real. And then basically what was involved in this was court, the judges, the police, media, and the politics. So they all work together. And what they've been doing is they've been making many programs for us, telling us that we murder everybody when we don't. They've made a narcissistic society, but that doesn't mean it's violent. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's a violent killing force, but they're still narcissistic for people because they only care about themselves.
Right.
And, when you really wake up, you feel like you want to share and care more, don't you? You just do. I'm sorry. And your ego is not this big thing. And the narcissist, it's me, my house, my money, my ego, whatever. Those kind of people. It's in my own family. It's my friends. It's nearly everybody you know. It's your neighbours. It's nearly everybody because they've been watching the television. But then
absolutely
realised that the television was the easiest way to do it to.
Well, it's weaponized. Absolutely, I agree with you. It's weaponized. It's military. It's been militarized. It's weaponized. It's there.
I think all these things are, even where we are now. I mean, what we're talking on. All of them are.
Well, over there where you're at, I mean, don't you need it? Like, it's required for everyone to have a television in their home? Don't you need like a license to get a TV out there too?
Yeah, we're paying for it. We're paying for the experience. I know. I just mean what we're on now. Like all the platforms. They're part of it as well.
Yeah. That's the way.
Once you stripped it back and you took off the mask that they put on everything, you'd realise it was all just a military operation. Because I just hadn't realised with the subversion. Like we all liked our Jerry Springer. Over here we had someone different, but then they're made to make you think you can't get on with anybody. And the soap operas are the same, and the news is telling you all the bad, and it's just everything's made to control you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So if you don't turn that on and you get on with your life, and then what it was is another good one for it. It takes a lot to get your mind around it because you start off with, I like blue, you like red, I like Trump, you like Biden, I like Arsenal, you like Man United. You've got all those things. I'm not saying those are my things. I'm just trying to EG it. You've got all those things that you've grown up with. I like baseball, I like football. They're all embedded in you, and you've actually got to let go of the whole lot, all of it. There's no politics. You've got to get rid of it all. Because it's all part of the same system, doing it.
It is. It is. And Karen, the best thing to do, I this is what I tell people right now, is to get with yourself get with your family, figure out what you want to do, figure out a plan to try to get far away from this matrix, that what they call the matrix is possible, and just kind of live your life. The good thing about this waking up to these deceptions and this information is now you're starting to get all the facts, and it's hard to make informed decisions when you don't have all the facts. So now, if you're smart and you're paying attention, and you realize it's not just stopping at flat Earth, there's other deceptions. Like me, it's like when I see something, like that's why it was so easy for me to research and study Tartaria, because I already knew that the Earth was flat. I already knew about the lie. I didn't have to keep talking about it every day. Once I learned something, and once I'm aware of it, I get it, and I move on to the next. It's like why a lot of people say, hey, you haven't did a video on Tartaria in a while. It's because I already found out it was a lie. Tartaria is the truth. Mud flood happened. Now all the little details. Well,
hey, Rich, asking you on that question, right? Because there's two ways that it could have happened. It could have been a lot of flooding, and flooding, it would have been a really bad flood, and it brought silting, or the building sunk.
Well, if you want to ask my opinion, okay.
Yeah,
well,
I am.
Yes, there is a lot of evidence that suggests that Noah's flood was much more recently than what we've been told. Now that could have been one way, and then after the settlement, that's one way. There's another way that's much more plausible, is that because there's some areas that never got affected by mud flood. Now a lot of places in the world did. So what's real plausible is that I look at this place as a building of some sort, right? Right? There's a creator. Obviously, there's a creator, because if we live in a building of some sort, something much more massive than us, something much more greater than us, our architects put us in a building, a snow globe of some sort, an enclosed system that was made for us, right? This realm. So if we're in a building of some sort, then you ever remember the old games like the etch and sketch?
Yeah.
Like where you would just take it and then you would shake it, and then you could just erase it. Well, that's what basically, that's what I'm thinking, that could have happened. You got to remember, there's overwhelming evidence of mudslides and landslides and the movement of mud. So, mud is mixed with water, it becomes liquid.
But how does it work when you've got they uncover buildings and the windows are still in there, and they could have been down there 100 years and they're not rotten? How does... And just to tell you this, I can't tell you if it's true, because we don't know if the past is true or what's true of the past anymore. But, in the last few months, we found out that, like suddenly it appears, Doggerland. Doggerland was a piece of land that was supposed to be between us and Belgium, and it went right round England to France. It was like we were on a much bigger piece of land. And then suddenly a great big tsunami came in. But in a tsunami, the water retreats. Yeah. The water didn't retreat there. And suddenly England, which was twice the size it was as a mass, is now half the size it is, and there's no Doggerland. There's trees down there.
Yeah, well.
There's what it is, I can't say whether people live on Doggerland, but there's trees and buildings and things down there. People keep finding them.
It's definitely, it always boggles my mind. I mean, especially when you add the giants and big creatures. It seems like everything that we was taught.
Why didn't they just tell us the truth? 300, 400 years ago, we won the war, and this is the history from now on. It used to be like this, and now it's like this, and then we'd have known. They can't go and change 400 years ago, but they've lied about everything. And then basically every actor is another actor. And then even the newsreaders are doing it, you know. And then I'd like to explain to people, like, you know what colours Trump, Biden and Boris have got. They've got like blue eyes. But when you see them on that television, they've got brown eyes because they're deep fake. So we just run by a bunch of programs.
Well, there's a lot of bullshit going on, Karen. I mean, they wear masks. I mean, they don't even know. I mean, it's just, you know what? It's so crazy what's going on. I try not to even think about it.
The thing is, though, some of these platforms, they're enforcing the lies.
Yeah. Right, and they're paying off, and the governments are paying, and the governments are paying off the people, so-called hush money, the stimulus, so that they, you know, can think about other things. I mean, the evilness and the
I started off making a few videos because I could see it myself about how that person looked just like that person. And then when you put the pictures over the top, it's very hard not to see that, oh my God, that is that person. And then when you look at them, you think separately, you don't ever think they're the same person. And then suddenly you see it. And now I see it very often. And now many people are sending me names. And now I'm making video after video after video of these people playing other parts. It's sick.
The world's a stage, Karen. The world's definitely a stage.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I did a video called about Morgellons.
Right.
And that's how they're vaccinating people is through the test. You get a test, that's how you're getting vaccinated, through the test. And a lot of people don't realize that because of these nanoparticulates that they're putting on the swabs.
We can't say very much about it, but I think everybody gets the point, and I understand.
Yeah. Well, you know, did you hear about what happened to the African Tanzanian president?
No.
Yeah, they killed him. They killed him. He was the one that was standing out against, he was the one telling all his citizens that, you know, that don't take the vaccine and it's all nonsense. He's the one that came out and said that they tested a papaya and a monkey.
Right.
Came
well,
out.
You know what? I used to, when I was working it out, I actually thought, oh right, the wars aren't real, but they are destroying buildings. They wanted to do that because they're Tartaria buildings. They've been destroying them, but they don't just destroy them. They cover them up. So we've got more than we think we have. They're covered up in brick, and behind the brick and the pillars. They've covered a lot of them up, but I thought that they were using the news and being paid to do it, to make the wars, to make all that. But now I'm not sure, because anybody that's got a heart facility near them in their country is part of the same thing. So they're nearly all part of the same thing. So, you know, they go, oh, down with Russia. Well, they're playing together. They're all part. So basically what it is you get your Coronation Street, Dallas, and you watch your hour of that each week. And what they're doing is they've got a live drama, and these are all just actors. I think the media runs everything, to be honest, because they're being paid to do everything to make. You know, I watched a reporter. I'll never know whether it's almost like I couldn't work out at the end of it whether she was a man or not. You know, there was just so. And then when I watched it to start with, she was speaking out. She had a program, a documentary, about 10 years ago, and then she made another one, but CNN wouldn't air it. So she was then being interviewed because she was saying what was wrong with the Middle East and don't blame them. And then suddenly you couldn't work out what she was saying because she was saying down with them. Anyway, but what she did say was that the media get paid to make the program. So I think they run everything. And then the president and the prime ministers come below that.
Well, I just think
they're being aired on the media. So the media runs everything.
Yeah, the media runs everything. I just think that president wasn't part of the NWO, the New World
You'll
Order.
never
He was
know whether that
outside.
was a true story or not, or he was part of the lie.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't. You know what? And
Because
that's a
they
good point
love
to
to
make.
make people frightened.
Yeah, you know what? That's what they do. Is they're running the fear campaigns, and you can't believe anything. If the media tells you one thing, then do the opposite
And
because
you know what? Maybe what the difference was is because they have been showing us like Crime Watch Daily on the news every day, and maybe where they thought that the people might be still quite restless, but the whole world shut down overnight without one police officer or one soldier. So maybe they thought they'd get a lot more resistance, but they didn't. And then they couldn't bring in martial law because everybody's peaceful.
yeah,
You see what I mean? That's what I think.
yeah.
Something like that. It didn't quite go like they thought it would go. There's still the fodder in it all, though.
I think it went even better than what they expected. I think people just lay down and didn't really
That's
fight
what I
back.
mean. Yeah, that's what happened.
They did everything without busting off one shot. You know, they did all of this without busting off one shot. So I think they're going to continue to push the envelope until we start fighting back. You know, until we're saying hell no. You know.
But I thought I struggled because like I was looking up North Russia. There's a town there, and half of it's kind of derelict and falling down, but people do live there. And then the history says something like the Gulag people did it, but the Gulag people were people who'd been in prison. And then, all right, let's look up that then. All right, the prison starts, say, 1905 and ends in 1958, and 18 million people have been through it. So you keep getting these great big vasts of numbers, and then suddenly you hit, right, there's 50 ghost towns in China. If we're so overrun, why is there so many towns half empty?
Right.
You're obviously lying about how many people there are.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Why do they want to go for this mass cut down if they're lying in the first place about how many people are here? I just don't get it all.
You're absolutely right. You hit it right on the point, Karen.
But you know what? Even anxiety, it makes money because people have to go to the doctor, go on prescriptions,
absolutely,
whatever it is. So they want us in fear all the time. But the thing is, what the other bit I don't understand is, yes, they have their figures and everything, but like 4 years, or say 2 years ago, you'd be going to the hospital with a cold, asking for a prescription now. And now the what do you call it? The accident emergencies don't seem to have that many people in them anymore. So the hypochondriacs aren't going to hospital now. So something's changed. I thought that I don't know. I don't understand. It's just crazy what's happening.
Well, yeah, and that's what they did. I think we all felt I think we all was a part of that as well, that fear campaign, because it made us do things and prepare for something that's never going to come. So what they did was they geniusly, you got to remember, Jeff Bezos makes $12.4 million a day. That's Amazon. You understand what I'm saying? All these small businesses, a lot of them shut down.
We're just going to get a bunch of corporations, aren't we? The little business people.
They all did, right? And it's all about sales, right? So it's all about sales. So if you can scare people it's like catching minnows. If you can scare people into doing something and fearful, and then you crank up the fear.
Though, aren't they? Because the only reason we got into this materialistic realm is because they were telling us that that's what we were in. Small businesses, we'll back you, all that, and then they cut your legs off. Wait till everybody.
Karen, the same people are telling you to wear a mask is the same people who are invested in the mask. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm telling you to wear a mask, that means I'm selling masks. You understand what I'm saying?
Do you know what people haven't noticed? This world is supposed to be falling down now. Like many people aren't working. At the moment, I've lost work because I was a self-employed cleaner, But we go to the shop, there's not one thing missing. It's not like, we didn't get any sugar or anything. Everybody's still producing all that. So if we're in this mess, how come all that's coming through? Do you see what I mean? If the world starts packing up because of what's happened, and there's not going to be so much food on the shelves. There just isn't, but there is. It's the same as before. But we can't go and buy clothes. You can't, unless you're Tesco's or Marks and Spencer's or a supermarket that's got clothes in it. They can sell clothes. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mind blowing.
And another thing that's grabbed me as well is I've been looking up tsunamis. I don't really understand those things. I don't understand, because people say, oh, well, it's a wave coming in. And I think, yeah, I get that. And, oh, well, that froth on the top isn't actually the tsunami. It's a wave coming behind it. But the thing is, these tsunamis go in for as long as they go in, then they stop, and then it retreats. So how can that be a wave? A wave isn't going to stop and then retreat, is it? So what I mean is, it's going one way. Just say it's going north, and then when it retreats, it goes south. Waves aren't like that. And if you flood something, usually it will go back out in a few tides. This immediately goes back out. But when it comes in, it's like, we're at war, we're going to smash everything up. And then when it retreats, it's like, well, we've done our job now, we're just retreating. That's what the water's like. I'm just amazed that water can do that. So I just wonder what they are. Because they're definitely doing a lot of damage in the Middle East, the Asian side. I'm thinking, if say I lived in Japan or China on the beaches or around there, Indonesia or something, I'm thinking, well, I don't want to live near the beach. These tsunamis keep coming in.
Yeah, I think it's mind blowing. I think everything's a lie, Karen. I think what they told us about
they're man-made on purpose to destroy civilization, because when those things hit, it absolutely destroys everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that, I mean, that's my advice.
And supposedly the figures they give you is it's killing lots of people as well. And destroy. And I mean, even when they show you China, they look just like us. They've got houses, they've got nice cars.
Oh yeah, they know it.
Destroying this community. Well, who builds that back up then? Where do those people go? They're homeless. They've got no clothes, no food, no furniture, no nothing. Who looks after them? You can't, you know, if these things are constantly coming in and destroying the town after town and community and businesses, who's going to pick those people up? The ones that are left. I mean, sometimes I've watched, they say, well, the town never came back. The people, they didn't build the town up there. They you know, a couple of businesses turned up, but the town didn't build up. And you're like, well, where did the rest of the people go? Where are they living? Have they got houses and furniture and clothes now? You know, who pays the bill for all this devastation? So they've sort of blown my mind a little bit. And I just can't, I don't understand when, if these things are real and they happen and it's doing that much devastation. I'm not saying we want to see those every day on our television, but they should be reporting more of that stuff. That's real devastation, not the crap they give us.
Yeah, that's just mind blowing. I mean, it's just unbelievable what they're doing. Unbelievable. I mean,
it's almost like you couldn't have written a better script if you tried, could you?
Yeah. You couldn't even if you tried, you couldn't. This is
and even down to the actors. Like, why don't they ever really make a mistake? And no wonder they can't. You know, wonder they turn into alcoholics or whatever, because they can never ever be themselves. They're always acting. I mean, do you know one of the biggest shocks was, it wasn't my video, I saw it on someone else's. Gene Kelly was Dean Martin. Bing Crosby played Hitler. The Bee Gees were the Beatles. And it goes on and on. And after I watched a few of his videos, I was just like, oh my God, because that's like some of those things, like Gene Kelly, that's nearly 100 years ago. Right. They were doing it then. It's not new. It's not something because we've got computers or the internet. They've been doing it to us for decades and decades.
For a very long time. For a very long time. They've been doing this. And all Jesuit lies coming from these Jesuit leaders and Jesuit schools. All lies.
And do you know what else I've really thought about as well? It's just through listening to a few people and a bit of research, but I was out with my friend Maria. She's an archaeologist, and she was explaining that this used to be a pagan building where I was with her, and that they turned it into a church. And then I already remember that the Tsar of Russia was making churches at the end of the 1800s. So churches have only been around for about 100 and say 150 to 200 years. They were look, most of them were pagan buildings before.
I think they were frequency centers. You know, Martin Luther.
And they weren't churches; they were other things.
Yeah, I think there were frequency centers. Yeah, a lot of these churches with these organs in it, and then they never was played. But you're like, well, what? So what are they there for? That's because a lot of these churches weren't churches; they were frequency harmonic centers, to healing centers.
It does look like that, because why would they spend all that money? Like, so they've got all those nice sort of like stone busts and whatever they've got. They've painted all the ceilings. They've got this most amazing organ, and they managed to build that a couple of hundred years ago. Oh, what for us to see?
Right. Yeah, just for decoration.
They did all that so we could sing hymns in the church.
Right.
So they've got to be for other things. Well, some of them look like the Wizard of Oz things. They've got so many, those organs, I mean, the pipes on them are so big.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. My mind's always blowing all the time.
Why do you think there were so many healing centers then?
That was just the way that I think that's how people, heal themselves. The ancients were very advanced, and it was opposite of what they taught us. We've been taught that our ancients built temples and they lived in caves, but that wasn't the case. The ancients were actually very advanced. They traveled by air, traveled by rail, they traveled by sea, by ship. They were very advanced. They built buildings to stand. They still stand the test of time for right now. We don't even build stuff the way we built. So the ancients were very advanced. I just think they knew more about vibrations and harm. Come to find out, if you get the right frequency, that can actually heal you and get rid of cancer and get rid of disease by if you hit it with a certain frequency.
Yeah. They're called such and such machines. But you know what? Those things would heal people. I forget what they're called now. Those people would heal people. The hospitals could have those there, and they won't. They'd rather give you the pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
Rather than a frequency that would heal you. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very crazy. Unbelievable.
I know. It's almost like we should, I don't know. It's like everything is wrong.
Yeah. Everything is definitely wrong. Everything is definitely wrong. It's not right. But I think I think a lot of us knew that this was coming. I just didn't think it was going to come so fast. So
it's not that we want NASA, because we all know how we feel about that thing, but we need somewhere like NASA to help us now. You need a bigger organization to help us. We can't do it, all of it, just by single people with a camera. We need something bigger.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. But all
those people in the observatories, they need to go to prison.
Well, I don't know if you saw my last video. Well, not my last video. I made a video last year called Projected Reality. So YouTube blocked me out of my original account. So my YouTube account still exists, but I don't have access to it. I can't upload. So my backup account is what I've been putting up. But I made a video called Projected Reality, and I suggest you put your seatbelt on before you watch it. Because in that video, it actually tells you what these observatories and these telescopes are actually doing.
Can I mirror it then?
Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, you can mirror it because everybody needs to see this. I'm telling you, you would be floored away once you watch this video. Literally, I'm proving to you that what they're doing is, you ever been to a planetarium?
You mean, I did in America. When I was in America, I went to one.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's where they get the idea, because we live in some type of planetarium. What they're doing is projecting stars and projecting stuff onto the backdrop. I kid you not. So if you look at, that's why look at all the old movies and all the pictures, there's stars, but not in all that stuff that you see, like comics and stuff. That's all from projections. Mind blowing. You have to watch this video. It's called Projected Reality. I'll send you the link too.
Send me the link. I'll mirror it.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. You watch it and you're gonna be like, no way. And that's why I said these are pieces to this puzzle. It's a big puzzle, and you just gotta when I make a puzzle, when I do a puzzle, I haven't did one in a long time, but when I do, if I was to do one now, I would dump all the pieces on the table, and I would work on the corners first. Right? I'll get all the corners, and I will make that square. That's how I always start my puzzles ever since I was a little kid. I would make the outside square first, and then I would fill in the pieces. And that's basically what this information is. You're filling in the pieces. Okay, giants, this, that, Tartaria. Okay, and it's all these pieces to the puzzle. So, it's,
right little warrior you are.
Say that again?
I said you're a right little warrior.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. You're a warrior too. you're a warrior too. You're relentless, and it's we need people like you. So that's willing to talk about and address some of these issues that's going on. So I appreciate what you do, and the people that watch you and follow you regularly appreciate what you do. You bring people together. We'll talk about some things that need to be talked about, and then keep it moving. I just think that people, the information needs to be there, because they're destroying a lot of this information, and they're doing it. It's called
what I mean. Like, even like all the search engines on YouTube have changed. They did it on eBay. That's a different thing, but what they did on eBay, then they've now done it on YouTube, and they're trying to do it all on Facebook as well, aren't they? And wherever.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely look up library anyway. Again, I'll go into the library. I haven't been back because I thought, it's linked to YouTube, so it wasn't really. I thought that's not what I wanted, but I'll have a look at that. So.
Library. I'm sorry. Look at library. Definitely look at that. That's where everybody's going. And plus, it's a great platform. And they're using great technology. So yeah, definitely go to library.
On there. You can't live stream, can you?
Not yet, but soon. Just not yet, but soon.
Because you know what we're on right now, these Hangouts, YouTube, I'm sorry, Google are taking these away.
Say that again?
These Hangout things we're on, it's going at the end of March, I hear. Well, I don't know if that's quite true, but Google wants to get rid of Hangouts. It's called something else now. They want you onto another system.
Well, yeah, that's what I didn't even know when you was like Google Hangouts. I was like, I didn't even know they still exist, because we all used to use Google Hangouts, but a lot of us went to StreamYard. So they went to StreamYard. Like I went to StreamYard. I didn't even know Google Hangouts was still going around. So
it's what I've used, and to beat them, because when we probably had our last one, we probably did it live. So it was like this, but live.
Yes.
But what it is you can have the Hangout, but my recorder, when I record stuff, it doesn't do very well with narrative and computer. So it would be echoing and everything. So what I have to do is I come on so I can record it, and then I'm talking with you, so I'm on the computer. So that's how I tape it. So we get round having to do it. So I've just got used to doing it that way. It's the same sort of thing. You just get two of me on every hangout. Just to find ways of getting around it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true. I don't really do live. I like to premiere live. I like to edit my, like when I do hangouts with people, I like to edit it and make a video and kind of like really put some producing stuff in it, like, you know, and then really do some editing work on it, because I mean that's what I do. I like to edit video, so that's why I like using it to kind of, you know, brush it up and make it a good, you know, real finished product. That's what I do.
You used to go on for 3 hours a night, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
live.
Well, yeah, exactly. I wish I had that time. I'm so. I mean, it's just nonstop busy. I mean, just nonstop busy. I don't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't even have time to edit video and do video right now. I have to literally make time.
And people don't realise, don't they? They might moan and groan at you, but you might have spent like 12, 14 hours making the thing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't know. It's a lot of time that goes into editing. That's why there's no way I could do a live video every day. I mean, like what you're doing, it's good because you just, a live video, you just, hey, it is what it is. You get what you got. But me, I have to produce my video. I have to edit it. I have to do all kinds of stuff. And that takes it can take days. It can take days.
Sometimes, right, I'm doing a video and I think, oh, I'll start it now. It's only 12 o'clock. And before you realise it, it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you're just finishing. You think, oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can talk for a long time. Even the ones that I schedule is like 2 hours.
I don't mean talking. I mean editing or putting music on, or suddenly I'll be taping something and then it sticks or it jumps like 5 times. And I think, no, I've got to do it again. And it was 20 minutes long. By the time we finish, it's another hour. Just take, sometimes it's your own, you know, your own recorder. I feel that we're living in the Adjustment Bureau. Have you ever seen that film?
I did. The Adjustment Bureau, yes. I actually did.
That I really feel, I don't know how they do it, but it's like that goes on. Sometimes your computer's doing all these weird things. It's like, is there somebody doing something? And you think, no, it's like the Adjustment Bureau.
Yeah. Strange world, Gary. Strange world. Strange world.
I know you're really busy. We've been going for just over an hour. Do you think that's a good time to stop?
Yes, this is awesome too. I got a meeting I got to go to in a little while anyway, so it's perfect. Let's do this again. I want to do a little more, maybe get you on my, when I start doing videos again, which is going to be soon. I think probably like 2 weeks. So yes,
Cool.
So in about 2 weeks I'm going to start doing.
Yeah, don't leave it so long next time.
Huh?
We won't leave it so long next time.
Yeah. No,
it's been a bit of a strange time with being this whole year because a lot of us have been home. We were a bit more active, going out more, connecting more, and now everybody's in their own home. So it's been a little bit. Everybody's been a bit more distant, and we just have.
Right, and this is good too. Like cool. I haven't talked to you in a while too. We get a chance to catch up and kind of rub ideas, and you know, and I get a chance to tell you what's going on, and you get to tell me what's going on. So this is pretty good. I appreciate you inviting me onto this show. Let's do this again sometime soon. Definitely for sure. I'll keep you posted on what's going on about Charismatic, and I'll send you the links to those videos. Let's do that. I'm asking all my friends to go get a T-shirt, go get a hat, go get a mug, support Charismatic because it's going to support you. And it's going to be big, and go ahead and do that. I'm going to send you the link and send you all the things that you need. And I definitely want you to watch. Do me a favor, and you will thank me later. And your mind is blown. If you really want to watch something to blow your mind, I want you to watch Projected Reality. Just watch that.
I will mirror it.
Yes, and please mirror it. It's mind blowing.
I've
It's
really,
completely
really enjoyed talking to you. I wish we talked a bit more about Tartaria, really, but never mind.
yes. We could do that. We could do that in the future. Yes, we could do that in the future. I'm just so packed for time. Crazy.
Yeah, I can see it in your face that you're I know that you've been thinking the whole time we've been talking.
Well,
You've
yeah,
probably got
and
about
that's, and that's
9,000 things
and
going
I
on in there.
being that way. I hate being that way. But I have my phone buzzing. People are sending me messages. My emails going off. It's like so much attention, and I hate it. Look, I love talking to you, but look, I work for myself now, so I'm never going to work for anyone else again. So I love it, but it's a lot of work when you work for yourself.
Yeah.
Kidding, it's a lot of work. It's nonstop. I got to do 50,000 million things, plus the things I have at home. My wife just walked out the door, and I didn't get a chance. She wants to talk to me. I didn't get a chance to. So it's just a lot of things going on, but it's all good. It is what it is. I'm just all about learning how to.
I wish you well. I wish you well with your venture, your business
I
venture.
appreciate it. I appreciate it, and let's talk again, and let's keep posted. I'll keep you posted on what's going on. I'll send you the links right now for charismatic.com, and I'll send you that projected reality video. And then after you watch that and after you mirror it, then let's link up sometime next in about 2 weeks, about a week and a half, when I come back.
That'd be really good. Do you know Cece?
Excuse me?
Do you know Cece?
CC? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know him. I actually met him. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty good dude.
Yeah, we have hangouts with him sometimes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I like him. I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen him about a year. But I actually met him. I hanged out. We did a little flat earthing in Times Square.
Yeah.
Times Square together. And woke some people up. Absolutely. Yeah.
Another lovely person just like you. But shall we say goodbye for the video? But I'll say goodbye to you when I've stopped the recorder. But for this hangout and this chat, thank you so much, Rich. Mwah. Chat room. Mwah.